Welcome to the Red5 Tribe podcast, episode 2.
Episode number 2.
Redford,
we're
start?
back. Yeah,
we start every episode?
Every episode we should start it that way.
High energy, baby. High energy. No, we're about to get smacked by some high energy in this hurricane situation. Hurricane Idalia.
Dude, they overplay that so much, too. Exactly how you just did that is like how they are on the news. Catastrophic, category 3. Catastrophic. Did I say catastrophic? It's like
they know they're going to get views that way. And then you go to the supermarket, all the water's out. People that never drink water now all of a sudden are getting hydrated out here. It's like, all right. And they never even know. Like, oh, it's going to hit here. We won't know until the last second, but trust us.
Yeah.
And now it's going to go, it looks like it's going to go way north. We're going to be fine. But
yeah, that or just like disappears. They're like, I don't know what happened to it. It just kind of like dissipated
it's going to be a catastrophic
into the
category 4 hurricane. And it's just going to be some rain.
Dude, Victoria did say some funny shit, though. She's like, so there's like tornadoes then in the ocean, huh? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, she's like, can you imagine there's just like sharks in the air?
Sharknado?
Yeah, that's why I said there's a movie, Sharknado. Super cringy movie, but it's...
There's fire tornadoes.
Yeah, that's true. That's scary. Speaking of fire, Hawaii.
Yeah, Hawaii is
crazy.
Down. So, yeah, I used to live in Maui. Fun fact.
Wow. You still got ties there, too.
Yeah, I was talking to some people out there. It's bad. Like, actually,
I just watched the video on
bad.
that, dude. It's really sad.
Pretty much the whole city of Lahaina is just gone. Imagine that. A whole city gone.
The video I watched is this old man that was a witness of, like, the cops blocking the road, apparently not letting people leave.
There's a lot of sketchy stuff going on.
It's really sketchy.
A lot of sketchy stuff.
Really
and that's
sketchy.
from, like, so one of my buddies, he's, like, an old-timer out there. He's been there forever, so he knows everybody. He knows, like, former police chief. He knows fire people. Like, he's on the inside with everybody.
Yeah.
And he was like, it's some sketchy stuff going on out here. But, you know, there's a lot of sketchy things that go on. And, you know, everyone wants to go conspiracy theory 24/7, but you never know. But there's definitely some weird stuff going on.
For sure.
Do you have any
Hurricane
conspiracy
fires.
theories that you're like, I totally believe in this? What's your top conspiracy theory?
Oh, man, that's a really good question, actually.
Do you think we landed on the moon?
I do not think we landed on the moon.
You don't think so?
I don't think that was
I think
real.
we did.
I think it's 100% fake. Because think about it. I mean, it was a race, you know, against obviously other countries that we...
the Soviets.
Yeah, I mean, Russia. So, yeah, personally, I'm thinking, like, if I was in this situation, I would fake it too.
I would do whatever it takes to win. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I mean, it just... There's a lot of signs that point towards it wasn't real. I'm not saying that that's, like, fully what I believe in, but it's like I'm leaning that way. It just looks that way. And it's like super sketchy that they never want to talk about it. They was like, oh, we don't have the technology anymore to go back. It's like, that's a little strange.
People are going back, though. India just landed on there, like last week.
Right, but that's the thing. Did they actually land on the moon?
Nah, I think they probably did. But, dude,
you think they did or
we
didn't?
landed on the moon, like, a bunch of times back in the day. It wasn't just one time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not, like, a super conspiracy
Not super set
guy,
on that, that's for sure. But do you have any good ones?
I wouldn't be surprised either way. I don't know. I just want to know, like, who built the pyramids. I just want to know about aliens.
Oh, the pyramids is deep. I just
like,
saw a video of, like, the top of the pyramid. There's, like, all these graphics and stuff on it. It's, like, hieroglyphics, you know.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I think that I just want to know about aliens. Like, I totally believe in aliens. When the government's like, yeah, there's probably aliens, and the government's like, yeah, obviously we know that shit. But I want to know, like, the extent of it. Like, are they here building pyramids? Do they live here? Do they just visit here? Like, what's the situation? Because there's for sure aliens, but I need to know the extent of that.
Yeah, the thing is, though, too, you can't, you know, like, if the government says one thing, it's like, all right, why are you shedding light on aliens right now?
Yeah, why are both sides of the aisle agreeing on this, like, heavily?
All of a sudden, they're just like...
That's the sketchiest thing ever.
Yeah, there's aliens for sure. That's right, yep.
Do you have any moments in your life that were, like, super awkward moments? Or, like, embarrassing or something you're just like, man, I really hope people don't find out about this?
Probably yesterday, shitting my pants twice doing a deadlift.
So,
bro, it's just fish oils.
Tell the story.
Nah, so Red and I were battling out yesterday as a green banded deadlift max from the floor. and we got up
sumo deadlift.
Sumo deadlift. Red never sumo deadlift, so
Never.
I'll give you the benefit of the doubt on that. But we got to 6 Yates and went to go pull the first time, and I actually made a rookie mistake and didn't load my side properly. But we won't get into that either. But essentially went to go pull the first time, and my bowels just completely released just while I was pulling up. So that didn't happen. And I was like, all right, fuck this. I'm going for a second time. 6 plates. Here we go. Get my mind right. Felt good. Started pulling. Boom. Here it comes again.
How bad are we talking? Like a little leak?
No. It was
hey,
it was abomination. Just an explosion in my pants of like, oh my God. It might be showing through my pants right now. I can smell it. I need to drop this bar loaded with 12 45-pound plates. And like I need to go to the bathroom ASAP.
What did you do? Like what did you do in the bathroom? What's your bathroom routine after shitting yourself? Because you were in the bathroom for a minute, and I saw it go, and I was like, where is this motherfucker?
Well, I didn't want to tell you because I was like, I wanted to tell you, but you also were still doing your thing. I didn't want to fuck you up. So I'm like, yo, Red, I got to go to the bathroom. So
what did you do going to the bathroom? Like you didn't bring like a change of underwear?
No, dude,
like
I just had to clean up the best I could. Just
Ugh.
wraps and wraps of toilet paper. It's not fun. It's really not. But I would say it was worth it. I pulled more than what I expected. I think 600 is there for me, and that's a big milestone, dude.
Yeah.
I remember when I was hitting 500. So
that was
600.
600. Yeah, 600 is a new club. You're in a new club at 600, and that's a good club to be in. You're legit.
And I am 100%. That is 100% from bands. People think bands don't work, but they do work.
People want to hate on bands. They just don't understand. That's all it is. If you know how to use bands properly, they're one of the best tools you'll ever use. If you look at the bodybuilding world now, they're using bands all the time. Yeah. It's literally the exact same concept.
I mean, we walked into that facility. What was the name of that facility we went to? Where we did the baseball and
100 Summers Method.
Yeah, Summers Method. Yeah. Like they were kind of doing similar style training there.
Yeah,
explosion work, bands, chains, blah 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 blah. I mean, it's just it
just changes the strength curve of a movement. So if let's say we're doing pause safety bar squats, let's say it's going to be the hardest at the bottom of the movement. Yeah. So once you dig yourself out of the bottom, if there's no bands, it just gets easier and easier and easier. So you can kind of just explode and then coast. With bands, you have to explode and then continue to grind all the way through or you're screwed because it gets more and more difficult as you go higher up. So it just teaches you to push through and be aggressive through the entirety of the movement. And if you take that aggression and apply that to a movement that doesn't have bands later down the road, you're going to be a better lifter.
Yeah, and the thing was for me is hitching. It's going to teach you not to hitch. It's going to teach you to fall through the whole lift instead of hitching at the top because I feel like a lot of people do that. That's
it can overload the top of the movement.
Yeah.
So if you can learn to smooth out the hitch with overly heavy weights, super maximal weights, if you can learn to lock that out without hitching, it's going to be super smooth when you get to a normal PR. Because you can go heavier. You can go heavier than... You'd be locking out heavier weights than you would be able to pull.
I also think it's just a lot harder. I think it just comes down to like discipline and excuses. People always find a way to like, do it the I don't even know what way you would call it, where you're just doing straight bar stuff every single day, heavy weight. It's just like, I mean, technically you can sound yourself, but like in other ways, you're probably not athletic.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways that work to get strong, for sure. But if you just do the same movement patterns over and over and over and over again, you're going to get really good at those movement patterns, for sure. Yeah. But as soon as you go outside of those movement patterns, now you're opening yourself up to injury because those tissues are not developed for that kind of weight. So as long as you're perfect all the time, you're going to be good. But if you train outside, you train the way we train with different barbells and bands and chains and things like that, if you get pulled out of position, it's no problem because we're pulled out of position all the time. And then we learn how to be in a proper position with all these external loads and forces from different directions being applied to you. Now it's like, oh, all I got to do is squat. And then, you could just do it if you're doing a meet or something like that, really trying to peak for a big lift, then you just go to your straight bar, competition movements for 8 to 12 weeks, and your numbers are going to go sky high.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, do you think you think powerlifting is kind of dying off, or you think it's trending? You think it's like stagnant? What do you think on as far as the powerlifting world? I feel like I still see a lot of it on the internet, because obviously the younger kids like to be strong, because being strong is, I think, a better feeling than, I don't know, to me, being strong is a better feeling than looking in the mirror and being jacked. I would obviously want to be both, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I think powerlifting is still growing, especially among women. But I think the new age of powerlifting is basically what we do, where it's like you can be lean and athletic and super strong. So people, like, the reality is most people, they just want to look better.
Yeah.
They're going to get way more confidence from looking better than being stronger. But I don't think that's actually the truth. I think the actual truth is you'll be more confident by being more capable. But if you can do that and look better at the same time, that's the ultimate combo. And that's what Red5 does, red5performance.com. Get the hottest programs in the streets. But that's what it is. So it's a combination of what people enjoy doing, which is more bodybuilding and being strong. And that's what we've been doing forever. I think that's the fast way to get strong if you do it in a particular way. But the average person, just add some strength stuff to the beginning of your workouts and then do your bodybuilding, quote unquote, for the rest of it to build up your weakest parts, and then you just diet. The way your physique looks is about dieting, not the training. If you take a high level power lifter and you put them on a bodybuilder's diet, they're gonna look like a bodybuilder.
Oh, 100%.
For sure. Like you have to be jacked to lift heavy weights. Yeah. It's just you can be jacked and also fat and lift heavy weights.
Yeah, which you see a lot of that. That's for sure.
Yeah, so if you just put the discipline into the diet, you're gonna be shredded and strong.
So for the average person, what do you think is the most important for them to be more consistent?
I think for the average person, you got to just figure out what you enjoy more. That's what it comes down to. Because to get the results that you're really looking for, it takes a long time. So the number one thing is, how do I stay in the game for a long time? If you don't enjoy the process, you're not going to stay in the game for a long time.
That's the thing. I just never get bored with lifting. I started 4 or 5 years ago, 3 years with you. And it just doesn't get boring. It just gets better every time.
Yeah, we also change. We rotate a lot of exercises. We have a high variability of exercise that we do, and a lot of people just do the same stuff over and over and over and over again. Like, dude, in my head, like, there's probably 700 or 800 exercises and variations that I could just list off the top of my head. Like, just think about just a deadlift. Think about just a sumo deadlift. Not a conventional deadlift, not a frog stance, just a sumo deadlift. You can do it off a deficit. You can do it off the floor. You can do it off blocks. You can do it with bands. You can do it with chains. You can do it. There's so many different ways to do it. You can do it with a pause. You can do it with a pause from the bottom up. You can do it with a pause from the top down. There's so many different things. That's on one move. I just listed like 30 different exercises.
What do you think about sumo and conventional? That's like that thing hottest in the streets. Oh, you pull sumo, you're a fucking cheater. You bend your back on a bench, you cheat. It's like,
yeah, people say that are stupid. They're just dumb. They don't understand exercise science.
Nothing against broccoli heads, but
yeah, I mean, broccoli heads are. Don't even get me started on broccoli heads. But yeah, so now, like, what are you cheating? Right? That's the question. Sumo cheating. What are you cheating? There's no answer to that. Unless you go to a competition, there's no rules. So if you go to somewhere like a competition where there are rules and then you break the rules, then it's cheating. But you're allowed to sumo deadlift in the sport of powerlifting. So you're not cheating. So all you're doing is like saying, oh, my ego is blah, blah, blah. Like, sumo is a much more technically difficult lift. It takes a real master of technique to be really good at sumo, where conventional is just like a caveman lift. But you got these broccoli heads that don't even conventional deadlift the proper way. And like, oh, you're doing sumo. It's like, bro, I'm deadlifting 650 pounds sumo, and you're got your rounded back looking like a Halloween cat deadlifting 275.
Yeah, that's the thing. I can
also conventional deadlift.
Exactly. I can easily conventionally deadlift 500 plus.
Yeah.
Easily. If you just tomorrow put me on the bar, I can do it.
Yeah.
So I'm strong in both, which you should be strong in both.
Yeah, you should be strong in both.
You just should.
But the people that say that sumo's cheating, they're just your broccoli heads that like. Broccoli heads are like your young dudes that have that haircut that are just fuck boys. They think they're the coolest dudes in the gym. There's like usually a group of 7 or 8 of them with tripods, and they're absolute trash. Those are your broccoli heads, which is fine to be like that, but don't be like that with an attitude and like a I know everything. Because then people that are like real lifters are gonna be
It's
like,
the worst to be around.
You're a broccoli head.
That's exactly why we go to the gym where we go, though, because people are serious there.
Yeah, you don't have broccoli heads there.
No.
But yeah, no, there's no cheating anything. You just do what you like to do. But you should be, if you're really weak in one of them, that's a sign that there's some sort of muscular imbalance in the whole system. And that muscular imbalance is ultimately what's going to cause your downfall later down the road. Whether that's in a plateau that just is never fixed, or that's an injury, more times than not, it's going to be an injury. So if you just have really weak adductors because you never sumo, that's going to be a problem down the road. And you're going to have an adductor injury because they're weak. Where if you get good at sumo, you're going to have strong adductors and abductors if you do it properly.
I think the stronger the foundation, the better off you are.
Yeah.
You want to be,
And
well-rounded.
if you're only sumo, then your lower back is going to be weak. So you need to do heavy good mornings, heavy conventionals, heavy RDLs. Like you need to strengthen your lower back because it's an important part of sumo deadlifting, but it's just taxed way less in sumo than conventional. That's why most of my programs, the really heavy stuff, I have people do sumo because it's, even though it's more skilled to be really good at, it's just less lower back. So it's a little bit safer for the average person who's not like a super skilled lifter.
Yeah.
Since there's very low skill level relatively in a conventional deadlift, people just, grip it and rip it. And that's how you get jacked up.
What's your best sumo? Never asked that.
I don't know. I did 625 the other day. I've done 605 with the green bands, I believe, at one point in time.
And the green bands, I mean, at the top, they're pretty heavy.
I think they're 80 at the top.
Yeah. Both?
I think
So 160?
combined.
Okay.
Combined.
Yeah, I mean.
So I think that sumo, I could probably pull 1 rep max. I would say lower mid sixes. That's just a guess.
Yeah.
I think if I took it serious, I could probably be pretty good at it because it really challenges me at the bottom, but I can sit here and grind through it. And once I break the floor, it's over. But it allows me to be in a better position at the bottom and grind, versus conventional as I grind a little bit higher up when the bar is already off the floor. And it's just a little bit more unstable like that. But my back is just so strong. So conventionals, I can just
Thank you to Good Mornings.
I can just manhandle it.
Thank you to Good Mornings for sure.
But yeah, so you started off losing some weight. Like you started off as a fat boy. Yeah. And then you got tiny, but you were shredded. So how did you go from that? Because you were like smoking cigs, drinking, eating trash.
I was just a big pile of crap, essentially. Just to be honest.
What was like the trigger? Did something happen? Was there a moment where you were like, the switch has flipped, I'm just gonna go all in, I'm gonna change my life, or did it kind of slowly start to come on?
No, it was 100% a switch just in one night. And I feel like a lot of people can understand this in the fitness industry. It was an ex that kind of like started all this.
Just like heartbreak.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like I said, people have. If you haven't been heartbroken, then good for you. But I was heartbroken, essentially, and so I decided to move to Florida on a limb and go to this diving school. And when I was attending this academy, we had to wake up 5 a.m, do PT, which that already kind of started to encourage me. While I was there, though, my ex was like, "Yeah, I cheated on you," and I was like, "All right, I have 2 options: either I go home and try to get this girl back, dumb, or I stay here and change my life." I said, "Fuck it, I want to change my life. I don't want to be this way anymore." I was smoking cigarettes, drinking every single day. I just cold turkey it. And literally from that day, that call that happened that night, I was drunk that night, woke up the next day, said, "Never again will you be this way." And every morning I'd wake up, I'd do the PT, I'd go to the school. It's 10-hour days. After that, I would go for like around 5-mile run, and then I'd go to the gym for 2 hours every day. I didn't miss a day for months, and I lost... Let's see, I went from like 230 to 155.
So you were just full on villain arc.
It was villain
demon
arc
mode.
all the way. And then when I met you, I was like around 150, 155. So I was
Yeah,
like,
you're a little guy.
Getting a little skinny, yeah. So I got shredded, but then people are like, yo, you need to put some weight on. I met you kind of at the right time. So then I started to put more weight on, take lifting more serious, and my diet more serious. And yeah, that's kind of how I got here. But it was a villain arc.
When you lost all the weight, did you change your diet, or is it all just from increased activity?
When I lost my weight?
Yeah, once that you said, all right, switch has flipped, did you like, all right, I'm cleaning up my diet, or were you just like, I'm just going?
I did it the wrong way. So I was in the villain arc. In my head, I was like, I'm all in. I fasted for like 3 months, but I did like 24-hour fast. I only ate once a day. Not recommended at all because I lost a lot of muscle in the process, but I did lose a lot of weight. But with that, I lost a lot of muscle, which is honestly how I lost it so fast. In 3 months, I probably lost like, I don't remember, 50 pounds or whatever it was.
So you only ate crazy. One time
a day, 7 days a week.
What kind of meal was that looking like?
Breakfast.
That's it.
I would
Like a
have
monster breakfast?
One boiled egg, maybe like some oats, maybe like they had biscuits and gravy sometimes if I wanted to cheat, but that was it. One meal, that was it.
So you basically just had no food coming in.
Nothing.
You're just
all I
living
had
off
was
fat
coffee.
stores.
All I had was coffee throughout the day. And nothing in the coffee, just straight black coffee. Dude, I was all in.
What a terrible decision, but it worked.
It was a terrible decision. It did work for me.
That's good, though.
And now I know I can reflect back on that and understand that wasn't the smart move, but at the same time, it wouldn't be where I'm at if I didn't do that.
Yeah, no,
so,
for sure.
Yeah, I mean, now it's just like obviously a routine. It's part of my daily routine to just live a healthier lifestyle. And now I obviously have my diet dialed in where I can be strong and jacked and all the things I want to be. But yeah.
So what's the mindset that goes into that? Because in the beginning, having like a breakup or some sort of like traumatic event, like that's a hot burning fuel, big time. Lots of motivation, but that doesn't burn forever, right? It's like throwing paper onto a fire. It's going to be big and it's going to roar, but it's going to die quickly. So you obviously stay in the game way long enough to lose all the weight, and now obviously you're still in the game. So what's the mindset that keeps you going once that fuel of some sort of traumatic event or breakup, something like that, once that's gone? Like, what's the mindset from there?
Well, now it's just like I said, part of my routine. Once it's part of your routine, it's just part of your life. So it's like going to work. You have to go to work every day. It's just like that, going to work. Like, it's just part of what I have to do to stay like in my element, because if not, I will go crazy if I don't get to the gym. And I'm sure you understand that. A lot of other people in the fitness industry understand that. Like, you've been doing it for a while. Like, it's just part of your life.
Yeah, I have so much energy inside of me.
Yeah.
And that energy is going to come out somewhere. So if it doesn't come out in the gym, it's going to come out in the world around me. So I have to have this release somewhere in my life that is a positive way, or I'm going to end up on Channel 6 News. Because I'm just a full-on crazy
murdered.
person. But yeah, honestly, it really does mellow me out. And I feel like, especially after hard lifting, like I just have, especially in like relationships and things like that, I'm much more patient with dealing with girls that are just fucking insane, which typically is the types that I like to date. And I'm not even saying that in a derogatory way. I'm saying that in like, this is what I enjoy. But it allows me to be much more patient.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, all I'd say to somebody is just start. Just start. Just start by, you just, if you can't find yourself going to the gym, try to find a partner or a friend that might be interested, or find a group session. There's like plenty of classes. There's this thing called Class Pass. Like, you could do all that. You can buy a program, because if you spend your money on, stuff that's like going to benefit your life, you're most likely going to do it then, versus like, I'll do it tomorrow, or, oh, it's January and this year I want to lose weight. So you start going to the gym and then it just dies off. It just trends to die off, and boom, you're just back to where you were before.
Yeah, this is what I recommend to people that are just getting started, is it doesn't matter what you do when you're at the gym. It just matters that you go to the gym. And I had this, I'll tell this quick story, but I moved to Hawaii. I didn't work out for like 4 or 5 months, maybe once a week, maybe. And then I was like, I got to start working out again. And I just totally switched. I didn't do powerlifting, I didn't do competitive, just more kind of bodybuilding stuff. And my goal was like, I'm just going to go to the gym 6 days a week. And if I walk into the gym and then I turn around and walk back out, that's a win. And there's days where I did that, where I got up early as fuck, go to the gym. I was like, I don't feel like doing this today, and I walk back out. But I made that my routine and my lifestyle. And then once it became this just what I do, then that's when I started, okay, let me get a little bit more serious about dialing in on a program. Let me write some new stuff, whatever. But if you don't have the routine, you could be doing the most perfect science, based thing in the world. If you don't have the routine of showing up every day, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
So
that's true. It's the most important part. So Red, tell me about did you have a villain era? I really knew.
No, not really. But I was always an athlete my whole life. So I was always working out was part of my lifestyle forever. But I did get into it when I was 21 years old. That's when I got real serious about lifting. And I used to be real deep into drugs. So I was basically
what kind of drugs?
a straight up drug addict. I was more just a junkie, anything
Yeah.
I get my hands on.
I feel like we've
Pills,
all kind of.
cocaine.
I mean, we all kind of been there.
I was going pretty hard on it.
Maybe
It
not
was
that
kind of
deep,
ruining my
but
life. But anyway, I started lifting,
Yep.
and it was basically kind of like a new drug for me, lifting that hard. I always had this monster intensity for just life in general inside of me. And then once I started lifting, I was like, oh, I'm actually pretty good at this. I'm pretty good at the intensity side of things and just going.
Yeah.
And I just really enjoyed that. And I kind of slowly started to phase that in more, the lifting, and phase out the drugs from there. And I started going to the gym twice a day. And that's what I was going to school for, physics and math at the time, which is crazy. I was killing it, double majoring, 4.0, top of my class, on drugs all the time.
Just whacked out.
Just totally whacked out.
So you just took all your energy and poured it into the gym, essentially.
Yeah, and then I started, and I dropped out of school. I just completely dropped out mid-semester, and I was just training full time. And then I went back to school for exercise science. But yeah, I was always into lifting, and it just made me. I don't know. I think I like extreme sports. I was always into extreme stuff because it makes me be present and be fully in the moment. Because it's you're doing something very, very dangerous right now. You better be focused, because if not, you can get seriously injured or hurt or die.
It's kind of almost like meditating in the moment.
Yeah, I mean, that's why meditation helps all this stuff, because meditation helps control your mind. And for people whose minds are all over the place, you can control the chatter in your mind, and you can get deep into your psyche through meditation and really kind of figure out a lot about who you are and what makes you tick. And that's when you're going to have your best performances of I'm doing this because I love to do this. I'm very passionate about it. Not I'm doing this out of fear. I need to prove this to somebody, or I need to, prove this to my parents,
pressure.
or I'm on, that's a hot burning fuel too for a lot of people. And I was living that life for a long time, but once you can dig up all the shit that you've stored down your whole entire life, you're just going to be happier. But the things that you do, you're going to get a lot more fruit from your labor, because you're doing it through a place of happiness versus a place of fear. You're doing it from a place of love, I should say. And you're going to start doing things that you really love to do that serve you, and things that don't serve you, and you're doing it out of fear, you're going to stop doing those. Ultimately, those don't take you to any place you want to go. But it's hard. That's one of the hardest things I've ever done in my entire life, was really look myself in the mirror and be like, I remember this exact moment in my life, I metaphorically looked at myself in the mirror and was like, I don't like this person. And I was very successful. I was good at school. I was good at sports. I got the girl. I was that guy. But I was so society told me I was awesome. But I looked in the mirror and I was like, dude, you are not awesome at all. And that's when I really started to change my life around.
Self-love.
Yeah, I was just so I grew up in a world of real violence, and I was in legitimate fear for a large majority of my life, but it was just normal. Yeah. This was just life to me. I don't look back at my childhood and upbringing of oh man, it was so bad. But when I tell stories other people, they're like, what? You got your face smashed into a sidewalk when you were 10 years old and you're bleeding everywhere because you confronted a bully that stole your baseball cards?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. And they're like, that's bro, that is a traumatic event. But yeah, things like that were kind of regular. So you don't realize this and you just go, but I developed this like ruthless mindset of like, I'm going to get something done and I will get this done by any means necessary. I don't care who's in the way. If you're in the way, I'm going to ask you politely to move. And if you don't, I'm just going to fucking chop you down.
Bullhorn.
Because I'm going where I'm going here, and ain't nobody going to stop me. And it served me really well in a lot of things, you know, school, sports, coaching, things like that. But you know, it was just basically built on a foundation of sand, and all it takes is one little storm and it just blows everything away.
Yeah, that was my struggle. Like when I started going to the gym every day and getting into working out, was like looking at myself in the mirror and seeing that same old version. So it's like every time you look, you're like, you're still that fat piece of shit. That's why I got so skinny. So I heavily recommend meditation, getting your mind right while you're going through a journey, whether it's putting muscle on or trying to get stronger or trying to lose weight. It doesn't matter, any aspect in life, but that was like my number one struggle.
Hey, listen, it's scary. Meditation is, if you get into it and you get deep into your mind and figure out how your mind works and why it works, it's scary. But when you do scary things and you overcome big obstacles like this, you learn a lot about who you are. And the more scary things that you overcome, you start to build this confidence of like, oh, I can do anything. I did this, I did that, I overcame that, I overcame this. So when some little thing comes up in your life, you're like, all right, I can overcome this, no problem. This ain't nothing compared to that. So that doesn't make your life, it just brings more peace to your life. Doesn't mean that bad things don't happen. It doesn't mean you're not going to be sad. It doesn't mean that, you know, you're not going to be distraught at times. It just means that when those times happen, you're going to be much more at peace, and you can push through failures and not judge yourself for the failure and be like, yeah, I'm just trying my best out here. I failed this. It's okay. I'm just going to pick up the pieces. I'm going to try it again and again and again and again and again and again and again. I will never give up until I get to where I want to go. That's Red5, Lionheart, the fifth pillar.
Do not fall into the deep hole.
Yeah, I will never give up under any circumstances ever.
Yeah.
So when you can get into your mind, you can be in a really bad place in life and know it's going to be okay. But yeah, to get there, it's hard. It's very, you know, lifting weights is, you think lifting weights is uncomfortable, painful, and suffering. You do not know the suffering of opening up your own mind and digging up all the shit that you've stuffed down your whole life and dealing with that once and for all. And it's something that once you become aware of why you are a certain way, you can treat yourself a lot more kindly, and you can understand, hey, I'm acting this way because of this, and this person that I'm acting towards doesn't deserve that. So let me check myself. Let me step back. Let me have the courage to give a genuine apology and just recorrect my actions, and that's it.
Just realizing that is such a big step towards better mindset.
Yeah.
Because I highly, highly believe in positive mindset, positive thinking, affirmations. Like, I've been taking that really serious lately, and the universe has just been pouring love and all these great things into my life, all because I'm attracting it. And you do attract it. That's like, oh, I keep getting stuck at these red lights. Yeah, you're going to keep noticing those red lights. You're never going to notice the green lights. And I truly believe in that, you know, writing down your goals and reading them every morning and truly believing in your head that that can be possible.
No, I totally agree with that too. Manifesting and all that stuff. Like it's got a lot of woo-woo side to it, but I think really this is what it comes down to. Like, I use this example all the time. If you drive around, you're not going to see a lot of yellow cars on the road. But if you buy a yellow car, you're going to be like, you're going to start noticing all these yellow cars everywhere. So did the universe bring you more yellow cars? Did you attract more yellow cars? Did you manifest more yellow cars into your life? I don't know, but you definitely become more conscious and aware of the things that are already around you in the first place. So if you start to think opportunities and growth and abundance, you're going to notice all these opportunities and growth and abundance around you that's probably been there the entire time.
Yeah.
So it's just a mindset of what is already around me. What, like, your brain can only take in so much information. Like just right now, there's so much information my brain's taking in. My eyes are looking. I see this color paint. I see that necklace. I see that painting. I see that flag. But my brain's not consciously making me aware of all these things. It's just way too much information. So you can selectively choose what you want to focus on, and that's, you know, you can do that stuff through meditation and visualization and affirmations and lots of different ways to do it. but you just become more aware of what's already around you. So people are like, oh, like positive mindset, like some bullshit. Yeah, maybe it is, but it works for me.
It works for me too. And dude, I don't know if you ever watched the Arnold Schwarzenegger documentary, but he talks about this pretty much at the very beginning and goes really deep into it. But essentially when he was younger, before he even got big into bodybuilding, dude, he had posters in his room full of just huge muscular dudes, all these people he looked up to, and he would look at them every night, and he'd have them like on the ceiling just looking up at him every night. And his parents were starting to get concerned, like, what's wrong with this? Like, is our son broken or something? And no, dude, he was attracting that, and he did exactly that. I mean, he literally became the best bodybuilder ever, and then got over that, went to his obviously his acting career, but like he did that. He talks about it, and like every successful person, literally it's on repeat. They talk about the same thing every single time. Manifestation. It's huge.
Yeah, he's just flooding his consciousness with this one singular thing that he's hyper focused on, and every single decision that he makes throughout the day is going to be geared towards, is it taking me towards this goal or not? Is it making me closer, one step closer? Because every decision you make, it's either taking you one step closer or one step further away. So if you're just constantly flooding your consciousness with this one idea or two ideas that you truly want in your life, everywhere you go around your life, you can be like, oh, look at this opportunity. And maybe you have a deeper conversation with somebody that maybe you wouldn't have had before, or, you know, somebody says something in passing and you're like, oh, snap, I was just thinking about that. Let me see what's going on here. Let me figure out more about what's going on before you maybe just let that person walk out of your life.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, have you ever, I don't think I asked you this, but have you ever been heartbroken?
Yeah, I've been heartbroken.
As I said, I think most people have been. But you say you didn't have a villain arc when you were working out and stuff, but
yeah. No, I've had like a super serious heartbreak. Yeah, it was. I had a super serious heartbreak that really kind of put me into like this downward spiral, but I kind of needed that. This was a number of years ago. I needed that because I felt like I was doing pretty good. I really started. I was doing like, all the mental stuff, all stuff for my mental health I was doing. And this relationship just like, I stopped doing that stuff as much, and I just slowly started downward spiraling. But you don't really realize at the time. But
you grow from it.
You grow, big time.
You grow from it.
That was like another like hard redirect in my life of like, because I was at the bottom.
Where did that take you? I mean, where were you at, and then where did it take you? Is what I'm wondering.
So I was this when I was in grad school. And I learned a lot about what I don't want in a relationship, and I learned a lot about myself and the things that I can potentially be, and like negative qualities about myself that I don't want to say suppressed, but I felt like I had overcome. And I realized that like, you're never going to overcome this. You have to constantly work towards this forever, just like exercising. If you get super strong and then you stop working out, you're going to get weak. You don't just stay super strong.
Yeah.
So if you work on these, these negative sides and these shortcomings that you have in your own personality, and you get to a point where you feel like you're smooth sailing, and then you stop, every single day you're getting a little tiny bit worse, but you don't notice it until it's way down the road. You're like, oh, fuck, I'm way not where I want to be. So that was really kind of eye-opening to me on the things that I need to do regularly to, keep my mental health in order. But it took me a long time. I was down pretty bad, and it was a good lesson for me. But also, this was kind of like a social media person, and now all these years later, where I do professional social media, I know what it's like. Because dude, it's hard, when you're like dating somebody and you're in social media. Like obviously, I make videos with like attractive girls. Like
right.
I'm in that world every single day, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of attractive girls that I interact with. So I understand how that can bring stress to a relationship. And I never want to make someone feel the way that I felt back then. It was like, so I'm just like, listen, whatever it is, I don't give a shit, dude. You want I don't really believe in privacy. It's not that I don't care about privacy for myself. Yeah. Because I know that this brings a lot of stress, and it just is what it is. So it's like, listen, you can look at my DMs, my text messages, whatever. I don't care, because I got nothing to hide. So whatever makes you feel better, do that, because I don't want you to feel the way that I felt before, when it was like, it's her being like protective of her phone, like all that kind of stuff. And it was like, I just knew, like, I think the worst thing that you can do to somebody is make them not trust their own intuition.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I did not trust my intuition. I learned to not trust my intuition. My intuition was so strong of like, yo, something sketchy is going on here. And I just...
Usually when you feel that, it's right.
You're always
Your
right,
intuition
dude.
is always right.
Always
For some
right.
reason, though, it seems like women have a better intuition. Like, when it comes to being a man, we're just like so blinded because if we have our mind set on something, we're just so hyper focused on that. And like obviously we prioritize the other things in life that matter, but it's like you're so hyper focused, you're not really thinking about all this other shit. Like I think back on my life and I'm like, oh my God, you're so dumb for not. How did you not see those red flags?
Yeah,
like,
for
what
sure.
are you doing?
For sure.
Yeah, but yeah, no. When it comes to like you were saying, communicating, tell them, you can look through my messages. Obviously, like now that I'm going full time social media, I'm the same way. It's like, oh, I got to tell my wife, hey, we're gonna shoot this video doing some Pilates, you know, hot sweaty Pilates.
We're shooting some Pilates next week. That's if you can sell that to the missus as far as doing that like all the time, you deserve to be in like the Smithsonian or something for persuasion because, hey baby, I'm gonna take this class. Oh, what is it? Oh, don't worry about it. It's just a bunch of smoking hot babes doing vagina exercises.
And,
don't worry about it though.
2 jack dudes, vagina exercises, and it's just a room full of
everything's fine. I promise.
It's all good.
It's in a sauna, so like we're not really wearing a lot of clothes, and we're basically doing sex exercises, and it's a bunch of smoking hot chicks, and just me. But like, don't worry about it, baby. I would have a knife to my throat.
I think you get one free pass, maybe if not, knife to the throat, just straight jabbed.
Yeah, no, I mean
that's a tough one.
It's different if you take like a class, but if that's like your thing.
We were like, oh, this will bring us.
That's a tough sell.
Yeah,
that's a tough sell. So if you can sell that one,
yeah, you could maybe sell it. Yeah, maybe you could sell it if it was like, yeah, it could make us a lot of money.
Yeah, no, I just think that's you know? If it was like absolutely necessary, then maybe I guess. But like, yeah, I can see how that being a tough sell.
Yeah,
like, imagine your wife being like, hey, I'm gonna go to this class. It's all a bunch of jack dudes just lifting heavy weights, and they're gonna be spotting me and like all up in my shit, and it's just all dudes, but it's just me though. It's all like really attractive, shredded dudes.
Yeah,
don't worry about it though, baby.
I think I would be like, meh. I mean, I trust you.
The fuck you are.
I trust you, but here's the thing: the fuck you. No. Like I don't know. I wouldn't be like, yeah. I mean, yeah. At least they're not like drunk dudes. It's better than drunk dudes because when you're around serious people, those are the people that are not gonna do sketchy shit. Because like Victoria has like gone and done different activities where it's like there's more men than women, like group things. I don't even know what it's called, but you can like sign up to do different things like beach workouts and whatever else. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool, whatever. But you know, she did have a guy hit on her. I'm like, well, it's to be expected. You're a woman, single woman, that not single, but like you're a woman there. Like they're not gonna look at your ring finger and be like, oh, she's married, but like she's here by herself, so that gives me the free pass to talk to her and ask if she's, you know, single.
Yeah, for sure. And like, dude, this is how it goes. Like, if you're with a hot chick, she's gonna get hit on. So I don't care about that. It's just more about how you handle the attention. And same thing, even like with social media. Like, I really don't care what someone posts on social media, but I do care about how you handle the attention that's inevitably going to come with that.
Yeah.
Like, if you're posting like fucking, you know, some booty workout, obviously there's going to be dudes in your DMs. Obviously there's going to be dudes commenting. And if you're like stringing that along or in any sort of way making them feel like they have a chance because you need this like external validation for your own well-being, like, I'm just do that. That's fine.
And that's the thing. Like,
it ain't going to work out with us.
Yeah. It's like, where do you really draw the line? Because like, dude, I've had women I've dated where they're like, well, you can't get a massage from a woman. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Like, what? You're in a professional setting where you're getting a massage, like, to heal your body. It's like, that kind of stuff is just crazy. And I've heard that from multiple other my buddies are like, oh, I can't go to get a massage.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think everything is situational. That's what it comes down to. Ultimately, it comes down to either you trust the person or you don't. Right? So I think that it's important. That's why I'm like, listen, anytime you want to look at my DMs, texts, email, I don't give a fuck, because I want to build that trust so I can do these things that are important to me, and you be able to trust me.
Yeah.
But I also know that a lot of things that I do just already with my job causes a lot of distrust, and it's my responsibility to build that. It's not their responsibility to just blindly trust me, because that's so stupid. Because there's a lot, like there's most, not, I don't know the statistics, but a lot of people are scumbags.
Yeah.
So I know I'm not, so I have nothing to hide. So whatever, I want to build that trust, and I know that takes time. And listen, if you want to be a fucking psycho bitch, that's fine. Just be open and honest about it.
Psycho.
I'm okay with that. But
be
the only
your inner psychoness.
There's one thing. There's only one thing in a relationship that's just 100% hard no. I will never deal with this. Is loyalty. It's it. One
cheating,
time it's over.
Loyalty.
Like you could put a knife to my throat for real, and
What-
I'd be like, "Yo, bitch."
What's the line for
chill.
that though? Where's the, as far as cheating? I mean, people be like, oh, you use like a guy in this scenario. Say a guy subscribes to a woman on OnlyFans. Cheating?
If a guy subscribes to a woman on OnlyFans,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that's cheating, but I would be like,
Well, emotionally
Yo.
cheating maybe.
I would
but
say, "Yo, nah, that ain't happening."
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's I wouldn't consider that cheating, but I would also consider that not cool. You know, if I was like, if I had a girl, I was like, "Oh, I'm subscribed to this dude. Like, do you know him personally?" Yeah. All right, then first of all, hard no.
But I feel like that's like
There's nuances to it.
I just feel like that is like what's been the issue with all these relationships just not working out this day and age, is just like the internet pushing all of this, like I'd call it temptation.
Yeah.
And if you've never had temptation, then you're lying to yourself, and you're just lying.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I
but-
feel like, I don't know, maybe my situation is a little bit different because I'm around that every single day. Like, I've been coaching women for 15 years, and these are high level athletes. A lot of these are very attractive women, where I feel like I've gotten to a point where it's like, meh, where like an average dude will look at some of these girls that I coach or, interact with on the regular, and like, oh my God, like it just completely overtakes their brain.
Yeah.
Where
No,
for me, it's like,
it's funny you say
I see
that.
fat asses
Yeah.
every single day. It's
Yeah.
not that cool anymore.
No, it's funny
I mean,
you
it's
say
cool.
that. Yeah,
Don't get
yeah.
me wrong, but like it's not cool where it's gonna make me go against my values.
Yeah, it's funny to say that because I actually feel the same way with it. Yeah.
It just
when you're
gets,
surrounded by it more, it's like,
it's not that cool.
I mean, it's
I'm into girls that are like obviously physically attractive, but girls that are like their personalities are.
Yeah. What's your personality like? What do you like to do?
Yeah.
Who are you? Are you psycho? You can be psycho.
No, I'm fine with psycho.
You can be
I
psycho.
almost prefer. I'll be honest. I prefer psycho. But there's
Yeah.
different types. There's different types.
I've
of
been with
psycho.
you for a little over 3 years, right? I could see you.
Dude,
with a
for me
little
though,
psycho,
it's just like this.
yeah.
This is what I think psycho is. Psycho is like, I mean, there's different brands of psycho, but like if you're just like some crazy jealous ass bitch, like that's fine. Like to me, that's just an easy bomb to defuse.
Yeah.
Because it's like you just don't have all the information of the situation. That's why you're acting like this. So I'll just give you all the information, and you're gonna see that everything's fine. So if I just be open and honest that you're a psycho, and be like, listen, what's gonna make you feel better about this situation? I don't care if like society thinks it's the most crazy psycho shit ever. Just do that. I'm telling you, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it. Seriously.
Somebody's
I'm okay.
gotta love him, right?
Yeah, I'm okay with
You
that.
know?
But here's the thing: a lot of these
So,
psychos, dude, like they are like super sweet and lovable. Once they are though.
Only you would actually know that.
But dude, I'm just it's just a lot of this stuff. A lot of this, a lot of it's
like,
is
that
aggression.
that knife is just like so loving and inviting. Come here, sweetie. Like,
Yeah, but listen, here's the thing: if a girl pulled a knife on me, like I'm gonna fuck you up.
how would you take down a woman with a knife? Would you?
I'll just grab the knife. I'll just grab her arm. It's like I don't think that any person in their right mind would pull a knife on me,
Yeah,
especially a woman. But it's like you have to know if you're coming at me for real, like I'm gonna fuck you up. But
Don't
like
blame you.
just enough to let you know that like I can completely and utterly dominate you physically unless you have a firearm. That's the only way. And I think, keeps them in check a little bit. But I think this craziness comes from, lots of different things, and I can see through it. This is things I've learned from coaching. I can have someone screaming in my face, and I don't take it personally. It's just like, okay, I'm trying to listen. What are they really saying, and where's this stuff coming from? And if they say some shit that's crazy, it doesn't affect me because it's like, oh, she's just like kind of triggered from this other stuff. I don't really necessarily get like upset about words. That's what I'm saying. Loyalty though, but like if like I'll put up with all of your bullshit, and I'll keep you in line too, because I'll let you know, like, listen, you can be just know that I'm ready. I will go to war. I will fucking go to war. So you better know, like, when you're going off on one, just know that, like, is this, if I make it understood that I'm ready to go to war for this, you need to ask yourself, is this the hill you're willing to die on? Because I'll go to war, and it's not going to be pretty for either of us. But like most of the time, it keeps both people in check. But I need that too. Like, I'm a crazy person too, so I need someone that's going to be crazy to not be afraid of me and stand up to me.
So psycho is not that's not the cutoff, but the cutoff is loyalty. So
loyalty,
that's
absolutely.
totally understandable.
Yeah, for sure. You would rather have someone who's not psycho but cheats on you?
No.
Then deal with a girl who's going to be fucking going crazy about some dumb shit every once in a while. Who cares?
10 out of 10 choosing the psycho over the cheater.
Yeah.
So yeah. If you've been cheated on, you understand.
Yeah.
So.
Being cheated on is the worst thing ever. And I've never cheated on anyone ever in any relationship ever my entire life.
Never.
It's just such a scumbag move.
It's
such a scumbag move.
Morally couldn't live with myself. Really, I just couldn't. I couldn't imagine that. Just like morally in my gut every day, I'd be like, oh God, I'm so sick. So
yeah, you have to live. That's a decision, dude. Again, like if you've been cheated on, you know what that feels like. So to make another person feel like that, like I've never just hated somebody so much that I would purposely make them feel like that.
Yeah.
And it says more about me than it says about them if I do that. And that's just not something that I'm about. But again, you could blow up my car, and you give me a genuine apology. Get into some therapy. I'm like, yeah, that's all right.
I'm fine with that.
That's cool. This podcast is brought to you by Legion, the best supplements in the game. No junk, no fillers, no artificial anything. Everything is scientifically proven to work at the clinical doses. So get your Legion supplements, pre-workout, protein, vitamins. They got all the stuff, so check them out. Use code RED for savings at checkout, or you can go to the link in the video. Hunt, what do you think about Legion's stuff? You tried a bunch of their stuff so far. What do you think?
Yeah, they're legit. They're legit. There's a lot of companies out there. I've tried a lot of companies, and Legion just has, number one, the best ingredients, number two, the best flavor, hands down. So yeah, if you're looking for supplements, I would go to Legion. 10 out of 10. They're just like, from a health standpoint,
quality.
They're the way to go.
It's quality.
It's quality, yeah. And quality matters. Like, dude, this is so like stem full crap pre-workout that people take every day that you just don't need. You just do not need it. And like Red and I, especially, we just talked about this the other day. Like, we're the type of people, we just don't, like, even us, we just don't need it. Yeah, and we're sitting here pulling crazy weight all the time, like, and we don't need it. We just have to admit that.
Yeah, it's not sustainable to have these like crazy high stim pre-workouts, especially every day. It's just too much. There's other ingredients that actually help you lift more other than just crazy high stimulants. But for me, like, I was just a straight up chocolate protein guy forever because I've been eating protein or drinking protein for since the ice ages. Yeah. But like I've only done chocolate, and now I've tried all their new, I don't know about all of them, but I've tried a lot of their protein flavors because, like, obviously I get it for free. So I'm like, yeah, I'll try this random ass flavor.
Yes,
and dude, they're all good.
It's like
there's only a couple that I really don't like.
Yeah, it's like trying different shirts on that you're not used to. It's like neutral. You're like, I'm gonna try this red because they're given to me for free.
Yeah. So I've tried so many things that I probably wouldn't have tried before. And yeah, their stuff's legit. But I would say the number one, like, you don't have to get this from Legion, but like, the number one supplements that I recommend for everyone is, number one is protein because it's actual real calories, a multivitamin, pre-workout, and creatine.
I just have one thing to add to that.
And nootropics.
Yes, nootropics is good. But one thing to add, if you're going to take fish oils, don't do it before you're going to do a big pull on a deadlift.
Yeah.
I would not suggest that.
You might shit your pants.
You might do yourself.
Might do to
twice
yourself.
in a row. God dang it, it was twice in a row. It's
Yep.
terrible. I came home and I was like walking in the house, Victoria. She was like, I done messed up. She's like, Jesus Christ, get out of here. But
Yeah. Well, that's if you have too much fat in your diet, it's more likely to happen.
yeah, so got to cut that out.
Yeah. Or just do it
But-
like immediately post workout. Try it out. Just
Yeah,
experiment.
definitely
With
experiment.
it. Yeah.
So
So anyway, any final thoughts?
no, I mean we're gonna be packing up here and bracing for this hurricane that hopefully probably maybe will hit at a catastrophic way.
What do you
So,
think's going to happen? Because it's supposed
I don't
to
think
hit.
anything's gonna happen.
It's supposed to hit like
Like
This
it's starting
morning.
now. It's supposed
Yeah.
to hit like late.
in the middle of the night.
Yeah. I don't think anything's gonna happen. Or it could happen and we wake up and you're paddling on your paddleboard over to my house. I don't know.
Yeah, I got
We'll
a
see.
paddleboard.
Yeah, so you're good.
I got fins. I can swim.
Yeah. But
I think it's gonna be fine.
I think it'd be okay. There
I'm
wasn't
not worried
very like you can tell who's like a true Floridian. It's like you see a house just boarded head to toe.
Yeah.
And then you see a house with nothing. Yeah, it usually separates them because they're like, we were talking about conspiracy theory, but the conspiracy theory here is like the Indian, it's like sacred ground, and they like, whenever, obviously back in the day, the Indians pretty much did their whole sacred thing, and now
Put
the
like a
ground.
blessing on the area.
Yeah, and it's
It's kept us safe.
it's been it's
At least in
been
this
pretty promising. Like sometimes,
Tampa
dude,
Bay area.
hurricane will just be hovering in the Gulf and just disappear. It's like, all right.
Yeah, I think it's
So-
gonna head up north, and I don't really think it's gonna do too much damage.
Yeah.
Some people are freaking out though. It's like, oh, we need to evacuate. I'm like, bro, it's not even raining yet.
Yeah.
You
Chill
thinking
out.
about evacuating
Fine.
now? Because they change the direction like every hour. They don't know anything.
Dude, like,
They're
so
like,
what's going to happen
there's
here?
gonna be a
It's
hurricane
going to make a fat U-turn
somewhere.
and go back
Yeah.
to Cuba, and then it's going to turn back around again and go right up the middle of Florida. It's like,
Yeah, like last
you
year was
don't
supposed
know
to
what
be-
it's going to do.
Last
dude.
year was
Chill
supposed to
out.
be a direct hit on Tampa Bay area, and then it just went like hard right across the state.
Yeah, if
like,
they can they can
okay.
direct a hurricane, why can't they direct a tornado? Like, get out of here.
Yeah.
So whatever. But no, this has been a good podcast.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna wrap it up. But yeah,
Episode 2, Red 5 Tribe.